11. Fruit juices. We're typically tricked into thinking that fruit juice is good for us since it's got the word fruit in it, as well as some brands also market themselves as being great sources of vitamin C or that they're made with genuine fruit. Unfortunately, even if this fruit is made with genuine fruit, it's most likely packed with sugar. For instance, Eat This, Not That claims a glass of all-natural Welch's grape juice includes 36 grams of sugar, which has to do with the like 4 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. The source notes that even if the sugar originates from all-natural resources and also low-fructose corn syrup, it's still refined in the body similarly. Likewise, the Journal of Medical Examination explains that many juices consist of fructose, which has actually been linked to the growth of visceral fat in obese people, likewise known as stomach fat. 12. Industrial vegetable oil. A lot of individuals have made the switch to olive oil in the kitchen area, and that's a good idea because vegetable oil is extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. According to Healthline, in the last 100 years or so, people have increased their consumption of added fats. This increased consumption comes from the use of refined oils like vegetable oils, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, and canola oil. Healthline points out the number of health concerns related to industrial vegetable oils, which include causing increased oxidative stress in the body and a link to increased risk of cancer. 13. French fries. It's no secret that fast food, in general, is bad for us, but among the worst offenders are fried foods like French fries. Studies have shown that foods like French fries, fried chicken, and fried snacks increase our risk of heart disease. Also, the method in which these foods are made, which includes frying them in trans fats, tends to raise the bad cholesterol in our body, and lower the good kind, explains Time magazine. If you're making a veggie stir-fry at home and you're preparing it with olive oil and coconut oil, there's certainly nothing wrong with that, says Dr. Regina Drews, Associate Professor of Cardiology at Hofstra University and Chief of Cardiology at St. John Episcopal Hospital in New York City, to Time magazine. But what most people understand as typical fried food, the kinds you don't prepare at home, should certainly be avoided. 14. Pastries, cookies, and cake. I think it's safe to assume that you probably already knew to eat a diet full of processed treats like cookies, pastries, and cake isn't the best thing to do, but just in case, we'll discuss it here. Most baked goods that are commercially produced are not healthy. Not only are they loaded with sugar, but they've also likely been made with saturated fats like butter or palm oil, or trans fats like hydrogenated vegetable oil. You have two ingredients that work with each other to give somebody the worst possible nutritional profile, says Dr. Regina Drews, Associate Professor of Cardiology at Hofstra University and Chief of Cardiology at St. John Episcopal Hospital in New York City, to Time magazine. 15. Refined cheese. When a food seems like rubber, there's most likely something harmful about it. We've all delighted in some refined cheese here and there. I mean, it was virtually a staple childhood year food that was easy to slap onto a smoked cheese or hamburger patty. However, when we stop to think about it, there's nothing healthy about cheese that can last that long without ever going molding, as well as radiates like an item of latex. The answer is that refined cheese is typically loaded with additives, several of which can be seriously hazardous. Kraft Singles are loaded with salt citrate, which can cause muscle spasms and may be unhealthy to people with kidney health and wellness problems. They're additionally loaded with sodium phosphate, an ingredient utilized to prevent the formation of meat as well as dairy products, which has been connected to an increased risk of bone demineralization, osteoporosis, and also kidney health issues. Creates consume this, not that. 16. Junk food. There's a great deal of speak about saturated fats and also heart problems. While the link hasn't been definitely made, and there are absolutely some heart-healthy advantages to be had from eating high-quality grass-fed beef in small amounts, in general, junk food isn't great for our health. Dr. Regina Drews, Associate Professor of Cardiology at Hofstra University as well as Chief of Cardiology at St. John Episcopal in New York City told Time publication that saturated fats from animals, especially when incorporated with carbohydrates, appear to have a deleterious result on heart health and wellness. There's no refuting that the food we eat at junk food restaurants is commonly undesirable. It's basically made with low-quality active ingredients, hence why it's so inexpensive, as well as prepared to make use of unhealthy methods. You may not be able to provide it up completely, but cutting down on junk food would certainly be a wise wellness choice. 17. Candy bars. Candy bars are something I just enjoy once in a while because face it, they're like chips, you cannot eat just one. These delicious deals with are so delicious, however, that's why they're so negative for us. There is no nutritional value to them, they're filled with sugar as well as calories, as well as are developed to leave you desiring extra. Refined foods like candy bars are generally crafted to be extremely tasty, and also have been created to make sure that it's really easy to consume them promptly, creates Healthline. Essentially they're made to taste good, however, they just provide a temporary fulfillment. They do not do anything to fill you up and also they'll just leave you starving once more because of the way these high sugar treats are metabolized. 18. Fancy coffee drinks. Many people like to start their day with a cup of coffee. Occasionally this coffee is available in the type of an expensive latte with all the frothy fixings like whipped lotion, a little drizzle of caramel, as well as powdery flavor. While these beverages are absolutely delicious, they are filled with sugar as well as calories. There's a factor: these drinks taste like a treat in a cup. Coffee by itself without any lotion or sugar is totally fine, simply make certain to consume it in small amounts. Healthline states that coffee by itself without anything included in it really has lots of antioxidants. The source mentions 2 different studies which revealed that drinking coffee might also reduce people's danger of type 2 diabetes mellitus and also Parkinson's disease. 19. Sweet. For a long period of time people were informed that fat was the most awful wrongdoer amongst junk foods. As well as while it's bad for us, there's in fact a larger problem around that is sometimes forgotten, and that is sugar-coated. A recent report released in JAMA International Medicine found that past researches that pushed forward the belief that fat is the greatest reason for cardiovascular disease was actually prejudiced due to the fact that they were moneyed by the sugar industry. According to Time publication, specialists currently think that added sugar is just as big, if not more of a threat than fat. Sugar is accountable for obesity, swelling, high cholesterol, and diabetes, every one of which is threatening aspects of cardiovascular disease. The argument in cardiology has actually rotated from hydrogenated fat and also cholesterol to sugar, claims Dr. Drews to Time magazine. If there is one active ingredient I would certainly state with heart problem or risk for cardiovascular disease must avoid, it's added sugar in any form. Not just is sugar poor for our physical health and wellness, but it can additionally be unsafe for kids' mental wellness. Researchers lately uncovered that yellow no. 5 and yellow no. 6. Typically located in candies like M&Ms, advertise attention deficit disorder (ADD) in children, according to research in the journal The Lancet, writes consume this, not that. These fabricated colors are so unhealthy that they're currently been prohibited in Sweden, Norway, and the rest of the EU. The source keeps in mind that foods having these active ingredients must promote with a caution that reviews might have a negative result on task and attention in children. 20. Sweet grains. A lot of the sugary cereals we see in supermarkets are marketed in the direction of youngsters that have a sweet tooth. They're packaged in intense tinted boxes with computer-animated figures on them to make them more tempting to children, as well as, let's face it, they taste good. The factor these grains taste great is due to the fact that they're loaded with sugar. Eating improved carbs and sugars in the early morning is going to produce swelling and make blood glucose go up and down, so you'll crave much more sugar throughout the day, claims Dr. Drews to Time publication. She goes on to use suggestions on what to consume instead that would be a much healthier option. For instance, having some fruit with an egg and avocado on whole grain salute.